We're going to talk to you about what happened at the Madlanga Commission, because there, very, very startling claims coming out, including some serious allegations against the suspended Deputy Police Commissioner, and that is Shadrack Sibiya. All right, let's actually get into that. The police crime intelligence boss, Dumisani Khumalo, saying during investigations of alleged criminal and murder-accused Katiso KT Molefe, the team was notified of his connections with the Hawks, among other units within the SAPS. Now, Khumalo says they knew of these connections before the arrest of KT Molefe at his Sandton home. This was on the 6th of December 2024. Khumalo continuing with his testimony at the Madlanga inquiry. Let's take a listen for a moment.
And then moving on to the point that I've touched a little bit, that talks to the information about a Zungu that we had received before the interference day, the 6th of December, which was during May 2024, way before the 6th of December, when then Major General Shibiri informed our witness A and B that the people that they were investigating are having lots of money and they are linked with officers from the tombs of the Hawks. And he specifically mentioned a Zungu. So that is the information that we received way before the 6th of December.
All right, let's get the latest now on this story. Joining me in studio is Junior Khumalo, who's been covering the Madlanga inquiry for us. Junior, good evening to you. We're going to get into the allegations against Shadrack Sibiya in a moment. I'd like for us to start with this character that I think has evaded everyone thus far. Yesterday we heard of a Mr. Mtetwa. Today we know of his first name, Boy Mutto. Talk to us about who he is and why is it important for him and for the inquiry to understand his role when the arrest of Mr. Katiso Molefe was taking place on the 6th of December last year.
Indeed, Xoli. I think the biggest question that has come out of that particular arrest is this convergence of a lot of police units. The Hawks, the JMPD, even the K9 unit are also converging outside that house. So there's been a lot of questions around what prompted this convergence at this home. So today we finally got the name of the individual who is said to have made that particular phone call, Mr. Boy Mutto. This is the individual that's said to have been outside the home. He seems to have interacted with some of those arresting officials. When he interacted with these individuals, he claimed to be Molefe's brother. So that's why they took particular attention to him. And then today we heard from General Khumalo basically expanding on that conversation that he had with the officials. He went on to say, listen, if you don't allow me to go in and see my brother, I will then call the Hawks and make your lives difficult, basically. So according to Khumalo, this is then indicative of someone who was going to prompt individuals to come there and basically interfere with the process that was going on. So this is what the commission seems to be trying to establish. Was there an intent to basically obstruct what was happening and also to interfere with basically that lawful process that was taking place? So this is what Khumalo was saying. Listen, from everything that happened there, there was an intention to obstruct, and there was basically a defeating of the ends of justice by that particular team. Yeah. But also, he seems to suggest that before we even come to this, we were told beforehand by Richard Shibiri. Richard Shibiri is the head of organized crime in South Africa, in the head office of the SAPS. He seems to have told this PKTT, including Khumalo, that there were individuals within the tactical organizing management team of the Hawks that are actually close to these particular cartel members. Hawks. So he warned them as far back as before this particular takedown. So they had that impression in their heads that the Hawks might intervene. So that's why even leading up to this takedown, they did not inform the Hawks that they were going to go and do this. He said that what usually happens, especially at that level of generals where Khumalo himself sits, they usually have this interview or discussions with the head of the Hawks to tell them, listen, this is a big takedown that we are going to undertake. But because of the suspicions that they had, they did not inform the Hawks at this particular point.
All right, let's conclude then around Mr. Boy Mutto. Is the commission curious enough, perhaps, to possibly summon him? Do we know if there's anything of that sort that they could be thinking about, or are we going to be left guessing as to whether or not this individual is eventually going to be put?
At this particular point, the commission was more interested on how does the PKTT as well as Khumalo, how do they draw that conclusion that this is the exact individual that made that particular phone call. So we did hear from Khumalo saying that this is still an ongoing investigation. For now, they've pieced together that he made that threat and said that I'm going to call the Hawks. And he also apparently gave his phone to Commander Wada, who is part of that PKTT team. And then in that phone call, Wada then spoke to Mokoena, Brigadier Mokoena. His name came up a lot yesterday. The commission also wants Mokoena to come before it and basically answer a lot of questions. So this is the individual who seemed to know a lot of the high-ranking officials within the Hawks. Okay. So the commission might definitely call him to come and account.
All right. And then a mysterious figure tonight emerges, Stuart James. Who is Stuart James and his relation to the Deputy Police Commissioner, Shadrack Sibiya, who currently sits on suspension?
Quite a lot of revelations came out today when it comes to this individual, Stuart James. This individual seems to have about 34 cases that have been opened against him. He's been found guilty on 18 of those cases. And most of these cases that happened include carjackings. They include gender-based violence, an allegation of assault. So serious crimes have been leveled against this individual. He has then been found guilty on 18 occasions. So that is the biggest question. How is this individual still out? He's not in jail. He's not incarcerated. So those were some of the things that Khumalo was trying to tease out. Who is assisting this individual? Why does he have so many cases? And why is he so close to the Deputy National Police Commissioner? So where this all seems to have emanated from, Xoli, there was that raid that happened at Sibiya's home on the 9th of October this year. Remember, this is the time when General Khumalo himself was appearing before the commission. He had fallen ill on the 1st of October. Then he disappeared for all of this time. We didn't know what he was doing. But it seems there was a lot of work behind the scenes that was happening by either him or his team, because they were looking into Sibiya, surveilling him. So when there was that raid that happened at his home, there were two cars that were actually caught on camera. There was a BMW, which seems to belong to the state. It was used by a certain Nkosi who works under Sibiya in his office. And then there is this Toyota Hilux that seemed to be used by Sibiya. Sibiya seemed to use this car a lot. So over the time period that he testified from lunch until just about 3 o'clock, he spoke about 8 or 9 occasions where this BMW and this Hilux were caught on different surveillance cameras traveling together all the time. And then that's when he dropped the bombshell, because he said, as much as Sibiya seems to be using this car most of this time, but it belonged to this individual, this Stuart James. Let's take a listen to what he had to say about this.
The car is registered or owned by a gentleman named Stuart James. If we scroll, I'm not sure whether it will be back up. A quick, let's scroll again, and then on the left.
To the left.
To the left or to the right?
This.
To the
This.
Yeah. So a quick profile of the owner of the car. As I've mentioned, Mr. James is having a total of 34 cases He was found guilty on 18 of them, and 11 were withdrawn, and 5 he was found not guilty.
All right, Junior Khumalo, we're going to have to park this conversation here. As interesting as it is, there are developing stories coming out of the OR Tambo International Airport.